So hi again. I wanted to do a little piece about students and teachers. Um, it's a big subject actually because you know when we're young, we're very vulnerable, and naturally we have a lot of people who want to teach us stuff, and some of it's good and some of it's not so good. But we get it. And then you get a little older, and I know I have three kids. They're all older now, but when they were young in their teens, they started saying, "Well, I don't think I want to learn anything anymore," because you teach them how to do this and this and that, and after a while they say, "Hey, listen, man, don't tell me what to do." And in a way, human nature is like that. There's a part of us that just says, "Look, who me? I'm grown up now. I'm responsible. I'm a master. I don't need to have a teacher." But it's actually we do because you go through, even if you get a graduate degree, you got to have like you know teachers, and then you have a boss, and then they got to teach you some stuff, and then your kids teach you all kinds of stuff, and then as you grow, you have to learn more things, and how to turn on your VCR or whatever. Um, so we're always needing some kind of instructions. The question is really, what do we get instruction from, and what about? You see, and um, generally speaking, people aren't taught when they're young. There's different concepts about, okay, son or daughter, this is what you do with your life. This is what kind of religion that you're going to be, and this is how you behave in that religion. And by the way, it'd be really nice if you could become a doctor or maybe a lawyer. That'd be nice, or at least make some money and be very successful and be happy. And please, we love grandchildren, and so always people trying to teach us stuff. But then, what about like our own life? And personally, I'm very grateful that I've met some very important teachers in my life. In particular, um, the one that I've told people about, his name is Marahaji. But I want to tell a little story that I got from a source. I don't know, years ago. I heard it somewhere, and it comes from India, naturally. And there were a man, a student of a great yogi teacher. In India, it's very common to have holy people. That wasn't They didn't have like official blessings like from like a pope or the bishop or anything like that. But they basically just lived a very holy life, and people respected them. But there's one man, he was a student, and there's a man he was with was his teacher, a very well known yogi and very accomplished and very beautiful human being. So they were walking along, and they came to a village late at night, and it's very late, and they needed a place to stay, and nothing was open. So they said, "Well, why don't we just go to the temple, and we'll lay there because we're servants of God, and it's a holy place, and we'll respect it." So they lay down in the temple, and they went to sleep. So the next morning, the caretaker of the temple went in there and found these two people sitting sleeping there, and he started smacking them with his broom and just said, "What the hell are you doing here? This is a holy place. You're not supposed to be sleeping here. Who are you, and where you come from, and what are you doing here?" So, well, of course, the first person to respond was the student, and he jumped up and he said, "Hello, excuse me, but I'm a student of a very great master, and he's you know a great sage, and I deserve to be here because I'm a yogi, and you know we had no other place to stay." So the caretaker of the temple just grabbed him by the ear and just yanked him and just pulled him down, pulled him out the door. "Get out of here!" So he went back in and got the other guy who was the teacher, and the teacher, he said to the teacher, well, who are you? What are you doing here? He said, whoa. Man, he started acting crazy. He started behaving very strangely. He didn't respond. And so the temple caretaker had some compassion for him. Said, well, this person, he's kind of out of it. And, so maybe I'll just, escort him out. So they get outside and the students, hey, what's going on? You look, you yanked me on my ear. It's very painful. And how come they don't do anything to you? So, well, the teacher said, well, you tried to be something. You said right away. You said, well, I am so and so. So I just acted crazy and let me go. So there's an element of truth to that, where what do you want to be? It's a great responsibility to be a teacher. I'm grateful that I have one that I consider, someone who I always learn from. But there are many other kinds of teachers and sources of information that I'm very grateful for learning things that help my life and help my understanding of my life. So if in any way that I can do that in some small portion for somebody, I'm relaying information and entertainment. There's a lot of interesting stories I've come across over the years. So some of them are really funny, I can tell you that. But teachers, to be a student is actually a great blessing. I mean, many people in their life, they say, if I hadn't had that one teacher, I mean, I have had a number of people. Like I had a science teacher in my school in India who taught me how to hunt birds, and he was very inspiring, and he is a very honorable person. He had very good physical skills with running, taught us a lot of things about how to survive and so on in the mountains. And so it's a great blessing to have someone to teach you, someone that you can learn from. And that's a different way of looking at it some ways, from the way some of the Western culture attitude is, where the attitude is, okay, be a conqueror. You have to have some territory. Be a master. You got to be at the top. I got to be number one. And what's so funny to me, I grew up in a different kind of a culture in India, but I see these football games and everybody's waving these little foam things that says number one, well, number one, right? But then the fingers break off and, everybody's number one. They sell every team. There's every team in the country. You could buy a number one little finger thing made out of foam. To me, that's really amusing. But to be zero, to be in a place where there's a confluence, and there's a great symbol, the flower of life, with the network of interlacing spheres, that is just truly amazing. I have it on a couple of my websites. You can look it up online. And if you look at that symbol, and you just look at this incredible gentleness, like bubbles, pure spheres that have no hard lines. They're all infinite. They're all interlocking. They're all interlaced. And that's where harmony is. We make ourselves, we become part of that sphere where our own assembly of energies becomes a sphere where we have our own identity, but at the same time, we're part of something infinite. That's a miracle. It's a very fascinating paradox, which can't be really reasoned very well, but you can feel it, and intuitively we do. So that's the end of this little section. Hope you've enjoyed it, and